Hey guys, it's time for a special live of Inside the Mind of RLQ, episode 5. Can you believe it? It's number 5 already. I see some people joining. I can't see any chats right now. I don't know. This is different from Facebook, obviously, and so I thank you so much for joining my live on YouTube because I know you guys have to come outside from Facebook and come into YouTube, and it's something that you might not be used to because it's a different platform, but my series is on YouTube, so that's why I'm having the live here today. But if you're used to seeing me on Facebook, I might be doing Facebook Live tomorrow. So David Hudson is first one I see. Ni haoma, ni homa. That is Mandarin. I'm Cantonese, so but I do know what you said, David. Do you know Cantonese, David? In Cantonese is lei homa. Michelle, Shell, you're here. How are you doing, Shell? Connie, you made it. Joanne, you made it. I'm doing great. I just woke up from a nap, so if you see any bags under my eyes, or don't mind it, because I so weird. The past 2 days, I just haven't been able to sleep. Like my sleeping pattern's been really really strange, but I've been able to get a lot of work done, which is great, which is always a great thing to do. Hey Chris, good morning from Germany. Wow, Germany. What time is it there, Chris? It's right now it's 7 o'clock p.m. here in Toronto. Hey Shell, I really really enjoyed Bean's photos. Huh? They look beautiful, beautiful. Hi Vivian, you made it. How are you doing? Hi Claire, how are you doing? Why can't you sleep? You know what? I Okay, first of all, I think it's the coffee. And it's weird because I just want to work, even though I feel sleepy, but something in my mind is just telling me just keep going, and I know it's like, rest is good and all that, but it's just how my mindset works, I just need to know that I have to accomplish like these certain things before I go to sleep, and if I don't feel like I've done enough for the day, you know how I say, before you go to sleep, you always ask yourself, did I do enough? I ask myself all the time, right? And so, I don't know. For the past couple of days, I just feel like I just need to put out a little bit more, even though it seems like like I have been putting out work, but I don't know. It's just one of those things. Maybe Christmas is coming. I don't know. Hey, Sai, you made it. Good morning. How are you? Oh, it's 1 hour after midnight. Ooh, you're still awake, Chris. No, that's all I know. Okay, it's okay, David. I don't know a lot of. I mean, I used to speak a lot of Cantonese, but I kind of forgot it all. But I can understand it, and I need to learn more languages. I definitely want to learn how to speak Korean. I want to speak like a European language, something cool. It's always great to learn something new. So yeah, so everybody's here. Well, not everybody. There's still people coming. I'm just gonna wait for a little bit more people to show up before I actually start talking. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining right now. I mean, I know it's different from Facebook and stuff. Is it anybody's first time here on YouTube to watch me live here? Hey, Mary. Hey, how's it going? Mary Jane from Georgia. How are you doing? How is the weather there in Georgia? I, Toronto is actually today was actually plus 11, so um, it's pretty awkward to have it, this kind of this that warm for November. So I'm very very happy. Christina, hi, Sir Roger. Good morning from the Philippines. I have work even Sunday. Ooh, but I want to watch your video in live. Blessed Sunday to you and your fam. Thank you so much, Christina. That means a lot to me. I hope you don't get in trouble if you're working and you get caught. But if someone does catch you, just tell them I'm listening to positive information. Come and watch. It is pretty nice here this week. It is, yeah. But we all know that living in the East Coast, the snow is coming, but Christmas is just around the corner. Can you believe that, guys? And it's already the weekend. It feels like I haven't gone. You know what? That's another thing I want to do this today. Actually, I wanted to do it yesterday, but it feels like a long time since I did a live, which was only last week. But that's how much I miss you guys. I miss talking to you guys. I miss communicating with you guys and laughing with you guys. Hey Tony, hi Roger. I'm Tony from Baltimore. How are your weekend? It's been great. It's been just like I was saying earlier, that my sleeping pattern was it went kind of off. So, but I'm trying to catch up. Before I'm doing the live right now, I actually took a nap. Otherwise, I would have been you would have been able to tell that I haven't been sleeping. So hopefully that nap did me wonders. Hopefully I look like I'm actually I brought my coffee here, so I'm doing great. Farhana, you made it. How are you doing, Farhan? I love you so much. Hi, Roger. Glad to see you. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you too. So, I don't know if you got my post the couple of days ago. So there is this challenge that I'm doing. It's a YouTube subscriber challenge. So as of today, as of now, I think I have like 3,225 subscribers. So if we can get it to 3,500, which is like 275 subscribers by Christmas, I am going to work. I'm going to dedicate my hours and work on a Christmas edition, special Christmas edition ebook, a Christmas version, and it's going to have 50 quotes in it, and I'm going to give it all out for free. And the more subscribers I get, like, so if I get 3,750, I'm going to have 75 quotes in it. And if I hit 4,000 subscribers by Christmas, you get 100 quotes. So my ebook is going to be just filled with quotes, and I'm just going to work on it. I'm going to make it good, and you guys, I'm going to send it to you all for free. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, this is the perfect time. You can click subscribe on my channel, and then if so, I'm going to start working on it like really soon. But it's just something I love to do, and it's something I believe that you can, like for Hana, right? Like you you go to sleep, you open my ebook, you read my quotes. You wake up in the morning, you could read my quotes. You just open up the digital download, and you just read my quotes, and hopefully some of my quotes can remind you to that you can that things you could change the way you think for that specific day when you wake up, right? Because like I say, the first thought you have when you wake up in the morning is one of the most important things, right? Because you want to start it off with something positive, right? So and that's what the whole theme of it today is about, living in the dark, my quote that I'm going to be talking about, but also finding what living in the light is as well, right? Because there's a huge difference between the two. And one of the things that I didn't do when I was living in the darkness was that I was not able to, even though I really, really wanted to see the light, was that I couldn't see myself living in that light, but there was a lot of steps involved, right, from getting to that point. So I am going to talk to you a little bit more about that as we get a little bit more people to come in, so they don't miss it. Shell, I have your book that you shared with us on my cell and my laptop. Yeah, that was my first ebook, right, that I gave out for my 1 million subscribers, followers on Facebook. So I also dropped the link on the description on this video. So if you did miss that, if you did miss downloading my ebook that I gave out about 2 weeks ago, I think it was 2 weeks ago. You can grab it here. Okay, I left the link there, so you can grab your free copy of your volume 1 ebook at the bottom here. Sai, before I go to sleep, I read your ebook, and I read it many times. Amazing, Sai. You do that too, right? Do you find that it helps you, Sai? Because I hope it does. And that's why when I decided that I wanted to do it, which was quite a while ago, I believe that it was something that was very simple, to have with you, and that like if you're too busy to go to my Facebook page and scroll through all my quotes, you can open that ebook, and then you could just scroll it. It's an easy read, right? There's no graphics on it, and it's just just the quote itself. So thank you so much, Sai, for doing that. Yes, it helps me a lot. I'm so glad it does. So glad it does. And the Christmas edition is going to be just as good. So if you can share my channel, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. There's a little button there, and you can do it. So I'm going to show you the quote that David Hudson, what days do you go on, like on YouTube? So the lives I do, I just started actually doing, because the Inside of the Mind of RLQ actually started as a just a regular 10-minute video. So my first Inside the Mind of RLQ, some of you have already seen it, episode number 4, I decided to do live. And I thought that was a little bit more informative and more entertaining, right? Because I get to talk with you. So this is the second time I've been doing live, and I think I'm going to make it ongoing, where Inside the Mind is actually an ongoing thing. So it's going to be once a week. And maybe I'll just have it on between a Friday and Saturday around the same time. So David, the next episode number 6 is going to happen next week. But I definitely, if you open my page every single day, you're going to see my notifications, and you'll find out when my next episode is. You guys can hear me okay, right? Hey Connie, how you doing? I have the mic right in front of me, so I hope you guys can hear me okay. Joanne, I love watching your lives. Thank you so much, Joanne. I think you've been to every one of my lives so far, so I'm so grateful for that, and thank you so much. Thank you. I love you. Okay, so today's quote that I'm going to be talking about is actually very. I wrote this a while back. This is like probably when I first started writing quotes, because I was just trying to get like as much information in as I could, that I could get from my journey that I could write onto a quote, right? And one of the biggest ones that that what I do today is to write quotes is because of the darkness that I was in, right? And how I was able to actually get myself out of that dark place and to find a brighter place, which is the light, right? So the quote that I actually printed it out. Oh, my chair is too big. I'm gonna show it to you. You've probably seen it already, actually. So I printed it out. So it says, survive the dark and you will become the light. And there is a big ring light in the background. You can see. Hold on a second. I gotta put this back. So when I was actually writing that, the survive the dark part was definitely what I wanted to start it with, right? But I was gonna end it off um, with survive the dark and you will see the light, right? And that makes sense as well. But the reason why I said you become the light is because I when I finally healed myself, I actually felt it. It wasn't I just saw it, but I actually became it. And I some of you may not understand what that actually means like or it feels like. But when you are in darkness, you know what it feels like to be depressed, if you have gone through it, or if you've gone through anxiety, or you've been in a very, very dark place, right? There is this energy that you just feel like you're surrounded by it, right? And so when I healed myself from my anxiety and depression, I mean, it was that same kind of feeling, that energy feeling, but I was like my body and my like everything, I was surrounded by that light. So that's why the quote ended off with I became the light instead of I saw the light, because I saw the light too, right? But I also became it as well. And I thought it was just it was more powerful that way. So if anybody doesn't understand the whole concept of that, so if you're going through a very dark time right now, just say, right? And one day you do come out of that light and you do see it. And you are going to feel it. You're not just going to see it, but you're going to feel it, because like the steps that you take from when you have darkness, when you're in that darkness and you're coming out of darkness and getting into that light, I mean, there are going to be steps, right? If you've been following my pages and you've been following my quotes and my videos and all that stuff, I talk about there's steps involved, right? In order for you to get to the point A to point B. And one of the things that you really need to do is you have to start loving yourself, right? Because once you start loving yourself, that love energy is so powerful that once you start to understand how to do it, and you start focusing up on that attention to yourself, then that energy is just gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger, right? And that same energy is going to heal you at the same time. It's going to be so powerful that it's going to start pushing away all that negative and dark, like all those thoughts that you're thinking about, and all those days you woke up feeling like you don't feel like going through the day, or how you don't want. Me, I was thinking the same thing too. I really don't think that I have a place here on this planet anymore, right? I think my life is just it's gonna get worse and worse every single day, right? But I was eventually able to get out of that point because I started loving myself. I started to realize the importance of what it was, and how much of a difference it made when you started to focus that attention taking care of yourself. The number one thing is, using that energy instead of taking that energy and focusing on the bad stuff in life, or directing it towards yourself and telling you like I hate myself, I'm useless, I'm worthless, I'm weak, like that's still energy, right? So you're creating this for yourself, you're creating that world for yourself. So what you need to do is you have to reverse that whole mindset, of you telling yourself that you're this bad version, right? But you're really not, right? It's just your mind that there's so much things happening in your life that you don't, and most of it is probably like stuff that hurts inside, or it's attacking you up in your mind, because it's just like life is there's so much in life, right? That's why it's so overwhelming, and that's why we lose control of our thoughts, and we don't know what to do with it sometimes, and that's how we get anxious, right? And that's how we worry, right? Because we're so afraid of the future. But once you start, I talk about it a lot, so when you start strengthening your mindset and you start having more focus and you start controlling your thoughts, then you're going to be able to get to a point where, you'll be able to, when that negative thought starts to come and starts, constantly attacking you, you're going to be able to have control and say, you know what, not today. I'm tired. Like I got to the point where I told myself, man, I am so tired of living my life like this. And I really want to see myself smile and laugh again. I really want to spend those days, with my kids, with my wife, with my mom, all those things, right? So I'm going to talk a little bit more. I'm just going to catch up on a couple of chat here I missed. So Connie says, I'm good. Thanks. Glad you're doing awesome. Thank you so much, Rahana. So happy to hear that. Advance Merry Christmas. Blessing to you, Roger. You know what? Christmas is probably going to be, you close our eyes, and then the next thing we know, Christmas is here, right? So that's how fast time flies, right? It's crazy. Maria, hi, Roger. I love watching you live. Hi, Maria. How are you doing? I'm glad you can make it. Size, yes, I'm a survivor, and it's super awesome to be able to make it. It really is, to be able to tell yourself that you are a survivor, and all of us are survivors, even though we don't believe or think that we are. But you just have to think about look at all the stuff, every single day we have to go through a challenge, right? So, you have to look back at everything that you've been through and how hard and how strong you've been to get to where you are today. So you are a survivor too, right? You are. Don't ever forget that, right? Because that just will remind you, that you do have that strength. You have that strength to continue to move forward. You will always have that. We were just born with it. But we just forget it sometimes. Diane, you're such a great inspiration. Thank you for caring and sharing. You're so welcome, Diane. So glad you made it too. So glad you made it. David, I've been going through a dark time since 2020, trying to fight for my daughter, and I'm still going through the fight yet. I'm going to talk about that because I have 5 kids, right? So I know how you're feeling, and it's really tough. And being a parent, especially going through a dark time, is incredibly, I would say, horrific, because for me, it was probably the most devastating thing. So I'll talk about more. Shell, you can do it, David. Yeah, definitely, David. I know you can because I was able to do it. Farhana, nice Gymshark shirt. Thank you so much. You like the designs? My favorite brand. You know that. You know that, Farhana, right? My favorite brand, Gymshark. Shell, hi, Kona from Beat and Me. I think Shell is, I mean, not Shell. Maybe if Kona's around here, I'll show you my beautiful dog, because she was actually one of the big things that helped me heal too, right? Because at first we said I didn't want a dog to be brought into the family, because I was just like, I can't take care of her, you can't even take care of me, so why are you guys bringing a dog to the family? But thank God they ignored what I said, and they brought Kona home, because she changed my life entirely, and she just showed me how powerful unconditional love is, and ever since she's been here, it's been 5 years already. She's just been constantly giving our family that love, and she's helped bond our family back together again. Because at one point, David, my family did fall apart. My wife almost left me, and I was just having a really, really hard time. But I was able, to mend it all back together, and I was able to, because when you're going through a dark time, David, and you have kids, it's really tough, because you don't know what they're thinking about, because they see you in this darkness, right? And I was thinking about it every single day. And my youngest son was 5 years old at the time, and thinking about to myself that I wasn't able to be there for him, because I used to walk them to school. I used to wake up in the morning and I would make lunch for them, right? I would walk them to school, and then I would go and I pick them up, and I that was such a great time for me, right? But I lost all of it because I wasn't able to do any of that anymore. And so I thought about it every single day, and it actually got me so depressed. I think that's where my depression came from, because I was so ashamed of myself, and that I was just telling myself, hey, you know what, you're such a bad father. All you wanted to do was be the greatest dad in the world, and yet you failed, right? But remember, even if you're going through a dark time right now, don't let it stop you from thinking that you can get better, because I know you can, and I know you will. And just watch the stuff I like, my lives, my videos, my quotes, all that. That's the quotes that I write. That is my mindset. Basically, you're tapping into my mind, what I'm thinking and how I perceive life, right? So the more you get to know me, the more hopefully I can give you that, that some advice and that positive energy so that you can say to myself, you know what, if Roger can do it, if he was able to come out of such a dark place, right? And now that I see him, it doesn't even look like he was ever in a dark place, that I can do it too. You definitely can. Right. And that's one of the main reasons why I do all the things that I do, is to prove to people that you don't have to live in that darkness forever. That darkness is just a chapter in your life, right? There is an end at the tunnel. And when you see that light, you are going to become that light, just like this quote that I wrote, right? So you can do it, David. I know you can. Hi, Joanne. I can't wait for Christmas. My granddaughter was born Christmas Eve. Wow, that's me. You know what? My mother was born on December 23rd, so that's very, very close. But the only thing is, when you're born at Christmas, is like they get like one present for the two occasions. With some people, my eldest son is born on early January, so we're just like, we'll just combine both presents together as one. Right? He's looking at me like, no, 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 no. I have to get two presents, one for Christmas and one for my birthday. Tracy, hey Tracy, you made it. I love your lives. Thank you so much. I love it when you come to my lives, Tracy. Thank you so much for making it. So glad to share them with my son. Oh, is your son watching right now, Tracy? I hope he does. Hi, Tracy's son. How are you doing if you're watching? Sai, I love the beautiful plants behind. Is it real? Oh, this one right here. You know what? I love plants. And my wife loves plants too. And we really try to water them, but sometimes we forget about watering them. So this one behind me is not real, but it does look great though. It does. But I think this summer I love gardening. Gardening is one of the things. Like, I love mowing the grass. I love doing outside work, and because it keeps me focused. And that's some of the things that actually brings me joy and happiness. And that's a whole one of the things. The things that brings you joy and happiness is part of loving yourself, right? It's because whatever you do that makes you smile and makes you happy, that is a part of loving yourself. So plants is definitely one of the things that I love. If you watch my video I posted on my Facebook page about my little plant that it looked like it was gonna die, like it literally looked like it was dead. And then every single day I looked at it and it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then you saw it, right? It was like it looked so lively, and I compared that with how we might be thinking about when we're in a dark time, that we feel all shriveled up or all alone and we just feel like we're not going to be able to survive it. But if you have that determination and we all have that strength inside us, if you just are able to bring it out, right, then you're just gonna bloom, like just like that little plant, that just came out and was so lively. So if you haven't watched it, it's on my YouTube channel, or you can go back to my Facebook page and you can check it out. Bia, thank you for all your encouragement. You're very welcome. Thank you for showing up. Thank you so much. It's Bia, right? It's Bia or Bia? Bia, right? I hope I pronounced it right. Joanne, I was same. I ended up homeless, lost my kids, but I got my kids back, but learned to cope on my own with my kids. It's hard. Wow, that's a really hard thing to go through, especially being homeless, right, Joanne? You should be proud of yourself, right? If you compare yourself now to back then, I mean, you've come a long way. So if you ever, feel down about yourself, remind yourself, that you came out of that. And as long as you're working on yourself every single day, that is already enough to be proud of. And just keep doing that, and eventually you're gonna see yourself. Your life is just gonna, hopefully you're gonna be able to become that light as well, right? I know you can, Joanne. I know you can. For Hannah, yes, we all have to love ourselves at first. When we will be able to love ourselves, then we will learn how to love ourselves. We have to keep hopes in our mind in all cloudy days. That is so true. You know, uh, it's tough. It's tough when you are in that darkness, because all we see is dark, right? And not like those days when I was lying on that couch. It was raining on me every single night. There was a storm every single day. I I did not see a chance at all that I was ever going to heal, that I was ever going to smile or laugh again, that I was ever going to spend a happy Christmas with my kids again. All those things, and that really affects you up here, right? When your mind is telling you all this stuff and you start believing in it, and you're just saying, wow, is this really my reality? Like, like before I actually hit my head and had the concussion and I started, having anxiety on that stuff, I never thought that I would ever have anxiety or be depressed that way. Like I'm talking about like hitting rock bottom. Like I just never thought it existed to feel that darkness, But when I was going through it, I was just like, why me? What like honestly, what did I do? I've been a great person. I'm a kind soul. Hopefully, I am. But I just couldn't understand the concept of it. And when actually felt being in that world, like that's why I work so hard, and I always try to. I'm strengthening my mindset every single day because I never ever want to go back there again, right? And before I started my YouTube, before I started my my quotes and stuff, right? I really wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to get depressed again, that I wasn't going to, that my anxiety wasn't going to come back again, that I wasn't going to start, taking my medication again, because then I would be kind of like saying, the stuff I'd be writing and telling people that, you can come out of the darkness and all that stuff. It would be kind of like a lie, right? Because I'd be like, it's not true. I actually fell back and I started, I didn't want that to happen. So I had to wait a certain period of time to make sure, especially for my YouTube, right? I wanted to really, really make sure that I am out of that darkness and that I can tell people for sure, if you strengthen your mindset, if you learn how to focus, if you start loving yourself, you start taking care of yourself, all those little steps that you take every single day to work on a better version of yourself, you're going to see a huge difference, right? You can definitely change your life and become that light that you wish to see, right? So Shell, believe in yourself and take care of you. Right, exactly. That's what I was just talking about. I missed your, I missed your chat, Shell. But yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. But yeah, with all your encouragement that I get from you, it helps me encourage others, and I'm thankful for your awesome words. Oh, I'm so glad they do, and thank you for sharing my quotes. And if you know anybody that's going through a dark time or whatever, and you're sharing my quotes or you're telling your friends or family about my page, thank you so much. It really means to me. The more that we share, it means the more that we feel that we're doing something good in the world, right? Because we all want to see a difference, and if we can be a part of that difference, it's just gonna make things better for not just yourself, but for others as well. And they can share that information because everyone knows someone, right? And they can pass that message along. So Baya, thank you so much. Baya is such a beautiful name. Baya. Okay, I'll remember that. Kona, it could have been our other dog, Moira. We have another dog, so you can actually hear her, right? What's your plans to celebrate this year Christmas? Let me see. I'm definitely going to actually I might do a vlog because I remember last live someone was asking me if I was going to show my tree and all that stuff. I am going to do that, but I'm probably going to stay home and just spend as much time as I can with my family, because those moments, these moments that we create, we have to remember that. Oh, my dogs are barking. That's why sometimes I do my lives in my car. So, but yeah, definitely I will do a vlog, and I'm definitely going to do a live, and yeah, I'm going to spend as much time as I can with my family, because those are important, right, everyone? Because if you can create those special moments and you can remember those days that you can smile and you can be happy, then later on in life, when you are in a situation where you just feel like life isn't the greatest for you, you can remind yourself that no, it's I'm wrong, because I remember that time when I had that amazing moment with my family and friends, when I had that, when I was smiling and laughing with them. Those moments can happen again, right? It's not like it's not going to happen again. And that was one of the things that I was telling myself every single day, that I wasn't gonna, have those days again. But I was completely wrong. I was wrong, because it was just me trying to figure things out for myself. But now I know, now I know that it definitely, once you start fixing up here, like retraining the way you think, right, and you start taking care of yourself, then definitely you can get past this dark chapter in life, and you can start seeing better days. Those brighter days are coming, right? We just have to tell ourselves, you have to be patient, right? And guys, I talk about a lot, those little steps that you're taking, even though it doesn't seem like you're taking that step, but then you'll look back and say, well, I tried all I could. I'm thinking positive, I'm taking care of myself, I'm starting to love myself. But I'm not seeing any difference. I'm still the same. No, like as long as you're taking that effort and you're working on yourself every single day, it's still progress. It might be this small, you can't see it. When we're in the room, there's dust flying around, right? There's a lot of dust. We can't see it, but it's there, right? But if there was a lot of dust, you'll definitely see it visually, right? So it's the same thing with your steps, so you have to remind yourself that I have to keep taking this no matter what. If finding my joy and happiness is my goal, I am determined to make sure that it becomes my reality. So you are going to take those steps every single day, no matter what, right? And you don't stop and you don't quit, right? Because one day when it does happen, you're gonna tell yourself, hey, you know what, man, I'm so glad I continued moving forward. When those days when I thought I wanted to just stop because not, I didn't see any progress. But remember, there is always progress. As long as you are taking those steps, there is always going to be progress. Yes, you are a great person, and I am very grateful for your everyday quotes. Oh, thank you so much, Sai. Those words mean so much to me. David, my daughter's mom passed away in 2020, and now she's living with her auntie. And now it's up to my daughter to come to live with me. That's I'm waiting for. Okay, so your daughter is living with your aunt right now. Oh, she passed away. So that's great, right? But you're saying that you're in a dark situation right now, and you know what? Maybe there was a reason for your daughter, you know, coming to you right now. Like I believe there really is, you know, things happen for a reason, right? And maybe your daughter is coming to you at the perfect time. You're going to be able to bond with her and and connect with her, and then that love that she gives to you and the love that you give back to her is going to help you come out of that place that you so truly want to get out of, right? And once you start feeling that, you're going to start you're going to start feeling that hey, I feel like I'm starting to become the light. And once you're gonna feel it, you really are. And I want to tell you something about one time. My mother is very, she always talks about Jesus. She talks about God. Like ever since we were kids, she's always talking about, God is always watching you and Jesus loves you and stuff. But I never really understood the concept of that, right? I was just like, yeah, Jesus is, I know what Jesus did, and yeah, maybe there is a God, like when I was a kid. But so when I was going through this really dark time, I was and my mom would take me to the walk in the parks. I have actually a video on my YouTube channel about it. But we were walking in the park, and I was just, I think it was one of the time when I was at my darkest moments, right? She brought me out and she's like, Roger, put out your hand. And I was like, okay. And she had this little like cloth, and she put it on my hand. And so I unraveled it. And as I opened it, there was a cross, right? And she says, put it on. And I was like, and once she put it in my hand, I can already feel something. It was just not just a normal necklace, but I could feel like all of a sudden this special energy, right? And it even was even more powerful when I put it around myself. And it's not like I glowed like a light bulb, but she just told me like, Roger, Jesus is watching you and he's going to protect you. And he's like, one day, maybe not tomorrow, but you are going to get better. Okay. And you're going to start laughing and smiling again. And she goes, I promise you. Right. And ever since she gave me that necklace, from that day forward, I started to talk to Jesus. I started to tell him, please give me the strength, please, that I don't want to live like this anymore, and it's just allowing like his love, allowing Jesus in your heart. And that really, really, and you could feel it, like, because once you start taking like those steps I've been telling you guys about having the focus and loving yourself and all that transition from that darkness to that light, and you're just that energy, that love energy is just going to grow and grow. And not only is the perspective of yourself looking at yourself and saying, oh, hey, I love yourself, I start to understand it, but you're also going to see love outside. Your outer world is going to change as well, because once you start fixing your inner world, right, there's a reflection of that, and that's going to happen on the outer world. And the quote that I just posted like yesterday about loving yourself, how it's not a selfish act, right? Because once you start loving yourself from the inside, you're also going to project that love on the outside, and everyone that's surrounding you, they're going to see it too, right? So David, When if you start doing that, right, your daughter's going to see it, right? And it's just gonna when you feel that connection, when you start seeing people laughing and smiling when they're around you, instead of, like, when I was going through that darkness, and it seemed like I was pushing everyone away and I was crying every single day, and I could tell my kids just went upstairs and they cried because they saw their father doing it, or they went to school thinking like, oh my gosh, I don't want to go home, I don't want to see my dad, right? um and I had to change it. I had to change that for sure, and that's why it made me work so hard, because I didn't want them to think like that anymore. I wanted to be like, I want to see daddy again, and I will bring back daddy. I want to see him laugh and smile again. And I kept telling myself I have to do whatever it takes, for me to get my happiness back. I want to prove to them that even though you are going, like, life is going to be tough, right? Life is going to be an incredibly hard challenge, but I want to prove to my kids that, one day in the future, if you do ever get to a situation where I went through, that your dad was able to overcome that darkness, right? That if my dad could do it, I can do it as well. And hopefully they'll go back and read my quotes and watch my videos too. Like, or maybe they'll just call me, "Hey, daddy, what was that quote that you wrote the other day that could help me?" Like stuff like that. But yeah, definitely loving yourself is one of the great things. And I'll never take this necklace off. And it just, it is such a great feeling, and that is part of that becoming the light, because you've already allowed that love energy within you, right? And it just, as long as you're taking care of yourself every single day, and you're loving yourself every single day, that energy continues to grow, right? So very, very powerful energy. For Hana, a peace of mind starts off with the green, but plants are really precious. They are, like my Rubik's Cube too, right? I always talk about green, my favorite color. Green is the color that tells me to go. If you haven't seen my Rubik's Cube video, it's also on my YouTube channel, where I talk about, your thoughts. How your thoughts is almost like, for the people that haven't watched it, I'm just going to say it really fast. I have this Rubik's Cube, and like, if you have it like scramble, you know what? I'm just gonna pull it out. I think I have it here. Okay, I don't have a scrambled version of it, but I do have the cube there. Thanks to my youngest son, because he knows how to solve the Rubik's Cube in like 45 seconds. But you can imagine like these colors on the cubes. Right now, it's actually, can you see it? Okay. Well, actually, it's like solved, right? So it has like all these colors. But in your mind, if you compare your mind as all these, just imagine this was all scrambled. I'm not that good at it, but imagine these colors are all scrambled. Those are your thoughts, right? Those are your thoughts all scrambled and jumbled up on your mind. And the reason why we worry, or we get anxious, is because we're so overwhelmed with all these thoughts. We don't know which one to actually target. Like, which one should I think about? Which one should I think about today? Because there's like 100,000 of them. So your mind is going back and forth. So that's why I talk about like how important it is to control your mind, and how you have to start weeding out, the thoughts that don't matter in your life, the thoughts that are telling you these bad negative things that most likely aren't going to happen, right? Like I talk about, like, when I was thinking dark and negative thoughts, like all those things I was telling myself, like, I'm not going to be happy again. My life is going to be horrible for the next 10 years. Like all those things I was like telling myself, they never came true. None of it. Right. And so if you can start solving that Rubik's Cube and start organizing your thoughts a little bit more, start focusing on a specific color. Like for me, I focus on green, right? Because green is the color that tells me to go. So whenever I'm doing for example, if I'm watching TV, and I tell myself, okay, at 2 o'clock, I'm going to stop the TV and I'm going to get up and I'm going to do my workout, right? I do exactly that. And sometimes I'm watching a show, I'm like, oh, this is a great chapter, but I think green, and I'm like, okay, pause. I get up, I do my thing. And then after I got it done, right? So, like, focus on one thing, focus on two things. If there's something that is worrying you, focus on the solution. Don't focus on how big this problem is going to be and how it's going to make your life worse, right? Because if you spend your energy focusing on the solution, the faster you're going to solve the problem, right? And then that way you can minus out that worry that you've been thinking about for the longest time, and move on to the next one, right? So it's all about controlling what thought you want to think of and how you're going to resolve it, right? And if you can start thinking about how your thoughts are almost like this Rubik's Cube, and you can start focusing on the more positive things in life, right? then it's tricking your mind a little bit. But sometimes I had to do it a lot. I had to find other ways to try manipulating my own mind to get my life to a direction where I want to start heading, which is a positive direction, right? So Rubik's Cube, green. Most of the time, I was talking about in my video that, that we get like the yellow color, like amber, like, oh, I don't know, maybe I'll do it tomorrow. But then when we say that, we just never do it, right? Or sometimes it's just red. We just say, no, I can't do it. I'm not going to do it, and that's fear, right? This is the red color that tells us, no, I'm not going to do it because I'm too scared, right? So if you focus on green and tell yourself, I believe in myself, I know I can do it, I know I can get things done. Close your eyes and think of this green color, right? And then just tell yourself, I can do it, right? And the more you tell yourself that I can do it, the more you're going to believe in yourself, right? The more things you're going to start to experience. There's so many things that we can do in this world that, hey, you know what? Why don't you just take a chance and try it, right? Like for the quotes, for example, if I didn't take a chance and do it, sorry, guys, I would have never been able to create my page. I wouldn't be sitting right now doing my videos and inspiring, motivating people all over the world. If I started listening to people telling me, "Hey, you know what, Roger, writing quotes, are you silly?" Like who in the world writes quotes these days? Like honestly, if you walk that path, you're not going to be successful, right? But I told myself, I don't care. I have one mission, right? My mission is to try to heal as many people as I possibly can, to and just even if I can make one person smile for that day, I've already accomplished something great, right? And I'm so blessed and I'm so grateful that I've been able to do that for, now I can say over 1 million people, right? That I've been able to motivate and inspire people all over, not just in Toronto, Canada. I'm talking about like motivating people all over the world, right? And thank you so much, guys, again for being having your amazing support, like coming to my lives and sharing my quotes and just leaving a comment after I post. That's why I try so hard every single day to reply to as many as many comments as possible, just to let you know that I am here for you, that I'm there, that I'm not just some guy that writes quotes and just leaves it and just lets people like leave comments, but I really spend my time, like going to and replying to as many people as I can. So yeah, I love you guys. I love doing it. So okay, so I'm gonna go with the chat again. All kids are a gift from God, from David. Yes, they are, definitely. I'm so blessed to have my kids. Five, I mean, that's a huge handful, and two dogs. But I'm so glad that they're actually a lot older now. So I have my time to do my thing. But I still prefer to work at night. That's where I get a lot of my stuff done because everyone's asleep and they're not like, hey, daddy, can you help make me this or can you do that? But they're much better now. I mean, now they'll just go down. Okay, fine. I'll just go and make my own lunch or something like that. Gemma Carter. Hiya, it's great to catch you here on YouTube for a change. I often follow you in your lives on Facebook. Always good to see you. Hey, Gemma, how are you doing? I'm glad you made it. I think I've been talking for about 40 minutes now. So if you missed some of the stuff I said, you can always go back to the channel and you can watch it from the beginning. And by the way, if you missed getting my ebook from last time, there's a link in the description below. So you can grab your ebook. It's free. You can download it and you can download on your phone or download on your computer. So Connie True. Shell, thank you, Roger, for being so genuine and real, unlike some of other pages that are out there. Oh, you're very, very welcome. I think one of the most important things for me is that, I wanted to show my true self. I didn't want to come out as being someone that was fake. I didn't want to come out and tell people a whole bunch of things that were to give them false hope. So, at the beginning when I started writing quotes, it was kind of tough because I was afraid. It was obviously a fear of mine that I was going to write something and someone would say like, oh, that's a whole bunch of bull ass BS. Yeah, that's not true. It doesn't work. But I can say that it is true because that is what these are the thoughts that I think in my head, and these are the things that healed me, from a very, very dark place, right? Like this is like real stuff, right? And it's also hard because there are so many things that you can write about. But I know for a fact that the majority of my quotes that really catch people's attention is about life itself and about finding their joy and happiness and their inner peace, right? I think those are the main things that people are searching for, right? Some of us are still searching for a passion, and that's okay. I talk about that too, about how your passion, sometimes you don't find your passion. Sometimes your passion finds you. Like how me writing quotes, it found me. Like 5 years ago, I never thought that I would ever be doing what I'm doing today, right? And I would think during that time before I had my concussion, I was going through like a midlife crisis, right? I was lost, honestly. I was just trying to figure out, like, what am I going to do? I wasn't happy about myself. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to start. And I just felt like I was so disappointed in myself. Like, I'm like, I've gotten this far in life, but I failed so many times. And I was afraid to fail again. And I think a lot of us fear that too, right? Like, you've been successful before, and then all of a sudden you lost your job. And you're like, oh god, I have to start all over again. Or you owned a big house, and then now you're living in a small house. Like Joanne, she was homeless before. Imagine that. So, I used to, when I had my comic book business with my brother, I had a pretty big house, but the company went bankrupt. I lost everything. I lost the car, I lost the house, and then, at that time I had like 3 kids, and I was forced to move into my sister's apartment, which was only like under 1,000 square feet, which we're not used to. And I was paying her. Luckily for my sister, she had her condominium was available, but like, that's what happens. Life sometimes just throws something at you, and you just don't know what to do. But again, we do have that inner strength. We will always have that inner strength, and it will continue to grow. And that's why, life is going to throw you all these things, is because you're ready for the next challenge. You're ready to evolve into the next you, the better version of yourself. Just like that quote I posted yesterday about, for every storm, a stronger you is born, right? And I believe in that as well. Every dark chapter that we go through in our life, we learn something from it. And whatever we learn from it, hey man, thank you so much for giving me that lesson, because now I can use what I learned. And when life throws me another rock, I'm ready to climb it. I'm ready to climb that mountain and take that down as well. Right. So, okay. For Hannah, I love green too. That's why she showed me the green hearts. I love green. It's such a great color. Even though I don't know you personally, but I can feel that you are a great person and good father for your family. Oh, thank you so much, Sai. That is so beautiful. This whole time I've been saying Sai. So Sai, if I've been saying your name wrong, please tell me how I pronounce, if I pronounce it right. So I'm pretty sure it's Sai, right? So thank you so much. That really means so much to me. And for Hana, your wife is lucky to have a life partner like you. Blessings to you both. My wife, I don't talk a lot about my wife, and how much she has affected my success. She really has been. Maybe she hasn't. Maybe she's not even following my page, but or she hasn't been like replying to my posts and stuff. But she's done other things. Like, she's just so supportive, and I wouldn't be here without her. She's an amazing mother, amazing wife, obviously. And I just want to let everyone know that, she is like, I've known her since I was like in my early 20s, so I've known her for half my life already. So she, thank you God for showing, connecting me with her. So she is a beautiful soul and a beautiful person. Connie, I'm still on the road to healing. I'm not where I want to be, but one day I will see my light. Yes, you definitely will, Connie. And one day you are also going to become that light. I remember going on that road, and there were so many days where I was telling myself, I'm not going to make it. I don't think that, all the things that I've been doing is actually, how I was saying earlier about, I am taking those steps. I really believe that I'm really trying really hard, but why is it that I'm not feeling it at all? And sometimes you're going to get those days where you're just going to feel like you just want to stop. You don't want to move any further, but you always have to remind yourself why you started. Why are you taking those steps? Because I want my happiness, and I'm going to do anything possible, and I'm not going to let anything stand in my way, right? Because I believe that one day I am going to find that light. I'm going to see that light, right? So remember, Connie, if you have those moments where you feel that you're not getting anywhere, you are getting somewhere. You're getting closer and closer and closer to that light. Okay. So you're going to get there. I truly believe in yourself. And remember to always take care of yourself. That is one of the most important things. And always just feed positive information to yourself. That's like your mind and your heart. There's like sponges, like I say, right? So the more positive information that you read, that you watch, that you listen to, that is all the stuff that you're feeding in here. It's like food, right? And because sometimes when you wake up in the morning, you're going to remember what you watched or you read yesterday, right? And that has an impact on your thoughts, right? Your subconsciously. So and that's what I did, read a lot of quotes before I wrote quotes. It helped me so much because I just remembered that if I came into a situation where I felt a little down about myself or down about life, these quotes would just pop up automatically. And I was like, oh yeah, now I remember. Okay. So I got to think about this quote, and I have to stop telling myself that my life sucks. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna go with this thought today, and that carried me throughout the day, right? So it's really, really important. Joanne, yeah, so true. I've been through hard time, but slowly getting back on track, and my children are doing great, and one has autism. Children, they are so important. And dogs too, right? Right, Shell? Like Shell knows because of Bean, but dog, like kids for sure, definitely. I honestly think if it wasn't for my kids, and well, my family, of course, but my kids especially, they were like they saw me through my darkest time, right? Like I'm telling you, I was like every other word was the F word. Okay. And I was yelling at the top of my lungs, and I would be crying in front of them, and they would just see me like kneel down in the corner of my house, just like a lost child. That's what I look like. But they like even after saying all those F words, they still don't swear, which is which is I can't believe it, right? It's like every time I say even the S word, they're like, oh, "Daddy, did you just say that?" So it's like I'm so blessed. But they definitely are. They're so special. They were my rock as well. They helped. They were one of the main reasons why I told myself I need to get out of this darkness. I need to heal myself because I can't wait to start having those Christmas days where I can laugh and open the presents with them. And yeah, and so I've been able to do it so now, right? So I'm so happy that I can. Chris, always remember how far you get to the point where you are today, so you will make it to where you will be. Yeah, that is totally so true. And that's why that quote that I love so much is remember why you started. I mean, like I think that was one of the quotes that always stuck to my head, especially during the time when I was starting off writing quotes. And Chris, I know you write, so you always remember that, eh? That you just have to keep pushing, and you have to keep posting, or even in life, you just tell yourself, I have to keep going on that path forward. You always have to think of that direction. Don't look at your past because it's already happened. Why are you going to go backwards when your destination is in front of you, right? So you have to have that up here in your mind, and sometimes you're just going to have to close your eyes and just picture yourself in that happy moment, right? Because that is that point B, that destination where you want to get to, right? So definitely always remember how far you get to the point where you are today, right? Shell, it is also important to have a good support system. I was thinking about that today before my live stream, and yes, that is definitely true. Without my family, without my kids, my wife, my brother, my sister, like and my friends, they showed up during that dark time. They are so important and so crucial. And for some of us, we don't have a support system, so it's hard, right? But there are other people outside, that are like inspirational people. Like hopefully, it's me that you can reach out to, that you can talk to, that you can just by reading my quotes, that can also be part of your support system. If you're waking up in the morning and you're reading my quotes, that is part of your support system, right? So it supports them is so important. And don't ever feel that you're alone and no one's going to ever help you, because there is always someone there to lend you a helping hand. And there's always going to be someone there out there that is willing to to stick their hand out and help and bring and pull you back out, if you feel that you've been knocked down, right? Absolutely, children and fur babies are a gift. Yes, they definitely are. Shell, patience is strength, and we learn to endure and wait. It gives us the power to be resilient while working hard to achieve our goals and overcome our darkness. Yeah, patience. Oh man, I learned so much about patience. I think I was kind of patient before all of this happened, but I really, really learned how to be patient during that time because coming from like being from a very dark place and seeing the light and becoming that light, in between that time, there is a lot of time in there because like I say, when that time when I was going through that darkness, one day was equivalent to 7 days, because you just didn't I didn't know what to do during that. I was so bored because I just kept thinking about these negative thoughts. And I guess the more negative you think, the longer the days go, right? The more positive your mindset is, the faster do the days go. It's like, oh, I can't wait till next tomorrow. But when you're in a dark place, you just don't want the next day to come, or I don't know. It's really weird. You're in this really weird like dimension, right? And that was where I was at, and that's why I never want to ever go back there again. But that transition from dark to light, it does take time. It's not going to be like you're going to wake up one morning and you're going to be healed, right? And you're going to be like, oh, all of a sudden, it's a miracle. I'm healed. I know it's like I see the light. It will take a lot of hard work, and it's going to take a lot of energy for you to start focusing on yourself. That is the key thing right here, is to try to allow as much positive energy to for you to absorb, so that you can start creating that mindset, that positive mindset, so that engine that I talk about a lot can start running, right? Because right now, if you are in a state where you're always constantly thinking negative, the reason why you're constantly thinking negative is because you've got the negative mindset engine running, right? So you need to tweak that, right? And that all starts with focus. Focus. That's why I love doing house chores. I love, I talk about a lot. I just say again, for anybody that have missed my lives and stuff, it's like it's it's targeting your thoughts onto one specific thing. So when I do my dishes, I only focus on doing the dishes. Maybe it's just dishes, right? But it's also training you how to focus. So when you're not thinking about anything, right? That's usually when, I mean, when you're just doing nothing, right? That's when your mind says, okay, now it's the time to start, pouring these thoughts into your mind, and then all of a sudden these negative thoughts start to come, right? But when you start to learn how to focus, you can start telling yourself that, hey, wait a second, I don't really have to listen to this nonsense, right? I can start shifting it so that I can start grabbing the positive thoughts and start focusing on that, because I know how to focus now. I know that these thoughts aren't gonna help me become a better version of myself. But this one is, because this one's telling me that tomorrow is going to be a super amazing day. This one is telling me that I should start believing in myself today. This one's telling me that my life can change, and I'm going to start seeing the light. Yeah, I'm going to start focusing on this thought. And the more you start, gearing towards those thoughts, the more you're going to see that start becoming your reality, right? And that's my last episode was talking about, the more you focus on what you want in your life, the faster it's going to become your reality, right? So it is so true. Hey, my sister is online. Hey, Melina, you made it. I think this is your first live YouTube. Thank you so much, Melina, for joining. That is my sister, Melina. If you heard about my miracle story about how she saved my life pretty much, because that one day I left my family, and I was approaching her. I walked for like 4.5 hours, guys, because I was just like, I was gonna walk until I was gonna collapse. And then, all of a sudden I saw my sister like pull by, and she's like, Roger, what are you doing here? And she picked me up, drove me home. And, after that day, I made the decision to change my life, because I was like, Roger, what are you doing? You have a great family. You just basically left it without saying goodbye. And, my sister and my brother-in-law were there, and they stopped me and said, no, you got to go back home, and you got to straighten out your life, because your kids are at home waiting for you. And they're probably wondering where you are. Right. So my sister, Connie, Chris, the one I depended on the most for support, ended up divorcing me. And that really sent me on a downward spiral. That happens, and when you just believe that, hey, this is the person that I fully trust in, and you pour everything in, and then you're just so disappointed, like, holy, what the heck just happened? Like, I thought that person was there for me. Now everything has changed, right? um but again, sometimes you just have to, it's hard, right? When you have to tell yourself that, hey, that was a chapter in my life, and I needed to learn something from it, and that the end of that chapter opened a new one for yourself. And and sometimes those new chapters are way better than the ones that just closed, right? And you just have to, and it's all part of that mindset thing. You just have to tell yourself and believe that everything is just going to be okay. That this is going to be a better chapter than the last. So hopefully everything's going well for you, Connie. That probably was a really, really tough one for you too, right? Sai, I know how it feels because I've been there before. That darkness when I was lying in the hospital bed and I was so hopeless. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've never been in a hospital for that long, but that must have been really tough for you. But you can always look back at that, right, Sai? You can look back and say, you know what, I was in the hospital bed for a long time. I was in that dark space before, right? And that's when you start being more appreciative about your life and start being more grateful about where you are today. That you are not in that situation anymore, and if you are healthy, then you can definitely every single day you can work on a better version of yourself, right? Because my goal is to be the absolute best version of Roger Lee, right? As long as my life here on this planet is like every day I'm going to work as hard as I can to become a better version of myself. Baya, you're awesome, Melina. Yes, Baya, she definitely is. She is incredible, and you've probably met my brother too, Pat. My brother, I don't know if he might join in later, but my brother is amazing too. I told you about the story, but when he was in Hong Kong and I told him, I have anxiety, Pat. I don't know what to do. He's like, dude, I am going to take the next flight home tomorrow and I'm going to fly back. I don't care. I'm busy as heck with work, but I'm going to stop everything. I'm going to fly back and I'm going to take care of you, bro. I mean, that's exactly what he did. It took him a week to come because he couldn't book the next flight. But yeah, my brother and sister are so amazing. My mother, just have such a beautiful family. So I love Melina. I love you, Melina. I love you, Pat. I love you, Mom. I love you. I love you guys. You guys are so awesome. David, life is just like a snowball. It gets bigger when you push it around and down the hill. Just you think of this, you know what, David? That's so funny because I actually made a video about the snowball too. Yeah, it is. It definitely is. You start off with this little snowball, right? And you notice that if you take that snowball and you start rolling down the hill, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, right? So here's the thing, right? If you are constantly thinking about, okay, a negative thought could just be a negative thought, but the more negative thoughts you think of, that snowball is going to continuously get bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's going to go down even faster down that hill. And that's what happened to me when I hit rock bottom, is that there was not one positive thought, and that was the path that I was heading, right? So I had to basically melt that snowball, start again, and plant a positive seed, I had to grow that little positive snowball and start rolling it down the hill, right? And that's that mindset engine that I'm talking about, that you're creating, right? It's like that snowball. You want to get that snowball to become bigger and bigger, right, David? And then that's where I am today, because I was able to grow that little positive snowball into this really big snowball. So that's also like tricking your mind, David, right? Like those are the things you have to think about. How am I supposed to, how can I trick my mind to make it think that this is the way I should be thinking, and it works. It really works. That's how we get fooled when we watch magic shows and stuff like that, because our mind just can't calculate how did they do that disappearing trick? It must be real. So oh, Farhana, yes, focus is the key to success in every steps of our lives. It definitely is. I love talking about focus because focus really, really, really helped me get out of that darkness. Hi, Roger, watching from Jamaica. Wow, Anne Marie, you made it. How are you doing, Anne Marie? Well, how is the weather in Jamaica? I definitely know that it is much warmer and hotter there. And is it sunny there? Because I would love to be there right now. Everybody, let's go to Jamaica and get a tan. I would love to be just, I think that's one of the things that I really want to do, is just go to the beach and just get a nice tan and just and also meet you guys too, right? I really do want to travel and be able to actually talk to you in person and stuff. So my next big goal is to do live, not live streams, but to talk live, in public and speak and to be able to shake your hand or give you a hug, and that'd be such a great thing, right, guys? Wouldn't it be amazing? Sending love to you both. Shell, Bean was my new beginning and showed me unconditional love and acceptance. I didn't pick him. He picked me from the first time I saw him, and that was just meant to be, right? Shell, you were probably in a situation where you were trying to manifest something positive in your life, and Bean showed up, and again, everything happens for a reason. I'm so glad Bean entered into your life, and he's made such a huge difference. And that's, oh man, if Kona is around, I'd show it to you, but she's probably not. Mary Meeks, yes, that would be great. I would love to go to Jamaica. All right, Mary, let's go. I want my tan back. Like I love sitting out in the sun and stuff, but for some reason I don't think we actually got that much sun this summer, so I didn't get as dark as I wanted to. And now my tan is just going away, because we're gonna have like 6 months of, hopefully not, of cold weather. And if you live in Canada, we don't like to go out. We just like to hibernate inside, and we get like a short period of time where we can go out. It's like 2-3 months of nice hot weather. And I tell myself, Roger, you gotta go outside and just gotta absorb that beautiful weather as much as you can before winter hits. So all right, so what are you guys doing? What do you guys have plans for this weekend? Oh, I definitely live in it. Joanne, you want to come? We're going to Jamaica. We're going to go visit Anne Marie, and we're going to have a huge party there. That'd be awesome, right, guys? We're just going to go to a beach, and we're just going to enjoy life, live life, like my youngest son said. If you watch my video about that his home project, he actually, there was like a fill in the blank, and it's like, what do you plan on doing in the future or something? He said, live life. And when I read that, I was like, whoa, man, this is like, he sounds like a version of myself. I was so impressed, for someone that young. And at that time, he was only like 10 or 11 years old or something. So it's crazy. Sai, you are my inspiration. You give me hope, positive mindset, and courage for my future. Yay, I'm so happy that I can do that for you, Sai. It really, really does mean so much to me. And that's why and someone asked me earlier during the stream, like, how come I couldn't sleep? Was that you, Joanne? That's because I constantly think about what I can do to write, to create, to film, so that I can help you guys, right? Because for anyone that is suffering anxiety or going through depression or having a really hard time in their life right now, I know it is so tough to wake up in the morning and tell yourself, like, to move on, to move forward, to tell you to kind of like convince yourself that life can get better, that there are brighter days. Because when you're in that dark state, it's almost impossible to think of a positive thought to get you going, right? And when I was trying to figure out how am I supposed to think positive, right? When I know, like, I was so convinced that I was going to have anxiety for the rest of my life, and that I was going to be depressed for the rest of my life, and that I was going to take like 4 pills a day, guys, 4 pills a day. I thought I was going to take this medication for the rest of my life, right? Until I made myself believe that, hey, you know what? That everything that I was telling myself was false. My mind was the one that was telling me all these things. It's not what I wanted, and I don't know why my mind was telling me all that stuff, right? But then again, right, I was creating that engine. I was doing it. I was doing it to myself. I was creating that engine for myself. I was creating that dark world for myself, because at that time, I didn't know how powerful your mind was. That's why my motto is your mind matters, because it truly does. Like, when you start to realize that you actually can take control of your mind, and once you do, you can absolutely start taking control of your life. You can start picking and choosing what thoughts you want to focus on a daily basis. You don't have to wake up in the morning and the first thought you tell yourself is that, today is going to be a horrible day because I have to go to work, and I know for a fact that that person that I see at work is going to ruin my day, right? No, it doesn't have to be that way. You could absolutely tell yourself in the morning, it's like, yeah, I'm going to see him today, or that person today, but I'm not going to let him affect the way my day is going to go, because I know that no matter what that person, he or she says to me, that it's not going to affect me, because I want to be, today I want to make today amazing, right? And I'm not going to let that person stop me from making my day amazing, right? It's about confidence, right? You have to that I mean, like when you start believing in yourself and you start strengthening your mindset, confidence goes with it. You're going to feel more confident about yourself, and self-worth, like all those things. You're going to stand up for yourself, and you're just going to feel unstoppable, and that is so important to 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 train yourself to become that, you know. So hope that bit helps, because it really really is important. Remember that the first thought when you like, even before you wake up, before you go to sleep. I think that's why, that ebook, if you haven't downloaded it, there's a link right now. You can, after you watch this, you can download that ebook, and you can just read those quotes before you go to sleep, so that tomorrow morning when you wake up, it'll be a fresh reminder. When you wake up, you'll still have it up here, and maybe you'll dream about some of that stuff, and it'll help you. Hi, and thank you, Sai. Oh, that was from Michelle. Did I miss anything? Oh, did I miss something? Oh, it's Bean's birthday. Oh yeah, happy birthday, Bean, which is Shell's cute little dog. He is so adorable. He has an IG account, Instagram account. You can actually type his Instagram. You're a Shell. Why don't you post your Instagram account to Bean's page, so they can see how cute he is. He's so adorable. Joanne, let me see. David, the mustard seed was the smallest seed, but it grew into a huge plant. This is Mark's third parable of growth. In this Jesus teaches that although the kingdom of God started small with Jesus. I wrote a quote about that too, about the seeds, but it's so true. It's about what you plant, right? If you have something that you want to see become your reality, it all starts off with something, and it's that seed, right? So at that time, when I was going through that really, really dark time, I was planting these dark seeds, which grew into these ugly, dark plants, right? Until I started to realize that, hey, I got to stop doing that. How am I going to do that? Well, first of all, you're going to have to start planting these positive seeds, right? David, you've got some great stuff, man. So again, that's stuff that you don't usually think about. But if you tell yourself, yeah, you know what, maybe I should start planting these positive seeds. I want to see this beautiful plant grow in front of me, or this tree, right? So, and that all comes from that seed that you're planting, right? So that's beautiful, David. I used to do meditation before. I say meditation, great. My brother does a lot of meditation. I never really got into meditation, especially going through anxiety and depression. There's just too much on my mind to actually try it. But yeah, definitely meditation will bring you to a place where you can find some of that inner peace, right? Where you can just let go of, the thoughts that you're thinking of, and be in a place where you can just kind of relax yourself, right? And I think it's tough when you're going through anxiety to try that, but it definitely can help, because for me, my anxiety was so bad that I couldn't breathe, right? So even if I tried closing my eyes and try to think of to ground myself, I couldn't even do that. It was really, really tough. But definitely, if you're not in a really very bad state, meditation will definitely help you as well. So. Farhana, your son is so talented. Sending love to your dearest son. Did he fall asleep? He's right in front of me. They're waiting. Daddy, hurry up! I want to play video games. So funny. Yeah, he's awesome. Your ebook are my favorite books now. I'm so glad, because my Christmas edition is coming. So hopefully, if you guys have just joined, if it's the first time watching live, please subscribe to my channel. We only need about 275 more subscribers, and you guys are guaranteed a special edition Christmas RLQ ebook for sure, guaranteed. And I can't wait to start working on it. It's going to be super amazing. I do the meditation at night on YouTube. Oh yeah, that's right, Connie. There's a lot of things on YouTube that you can follow or you can listen to, right? I actually used to do that too. Because I had a lot of trouble sleeping, even after taking the medication. I still couldn't find a way to really. I just wanted to sleep like constantly. So I'd go on YouTube, and I'd listen to music, like soothing music, to try to put me to sleep, and just people like really, really nice, comforting voices, and just listen to them talk. And I found that really helped. Well, along with the medication, if they work well together, and put me to sleep really fast. So yeah, that's a great idea, Connie. If you're really if you want to start getting to meditation, you can always search YouTube, and you can find the basics, like how to get started, and some of the channels. There's a lot of people that have channels that can help you with meditation as well. Chris, I also do it to music here on YouTube too. Music, right? Music is oops, sorry, I gotta get this thing. Music. I used to, you know what? I actually stopped listening to music because it was weird. I just stopped doing everything, and music was one of the things I stopped doing. But I when I was trying to find a way to try to put myself to sleep, music was one of the things that I did. I would try listening to like you know music, like water, nature, birds chirping, those kind of sounds, because it helped bring me peace. It helped me. I was trying to learn how to focus, try to pretend that I was in this tropical island or this beautiful greenery that I can like, or like on a hill, just lying down on the long grass and with the white clouds and all that stuff. Just trying to get my mind out of the gutter and just trying to think of a bright place. But it does help, definitely music. But music is my thing now. When I work, I play music. I love to sing. When I work, I sing. And music has that energy, right? It has a very, very powerful energy, and it can help you. It can heal you, right? So, Chris, music is my life. I never stop hearing music. Yeah, I really love music. That's why I love singing too. And for anybody that's wondering, why isn't it Roger singing? He said he was gonna sing songs. I am working on it. I am, guys. I've already have look. I got my little studio set up here. I got my YouTube live here, and I am going to sing in front of you guys. You know what? I was thinking of actually doing like a Christmas concert, like Roger Lee Christmas concert, and I could sing Christmas songs during Christmas. How's that, guys? You know, Christmas is a joyous time, joyful time, and I think it'd be great if I can do a live and I can sing some Christmas carols for you guys. So that'd be so awesome. When is Kona's birthday, Roger? It is in, I think, April or May. Spring. Oh, my wife's gonna kill me. Yeah, it's in spring. So she passed. She's 5 years old. So without Kona, oh, I don't know what. Oh, man, she really did great things for us and our family. And if you are looking for something that you can find unconditional love, and you can afford a dog, try it, because they are going to do amazing wonders in your life, and they're going to be a part of that healing process for you. So if you have been deciding to maybe wanting to buy a dog, maybe take that bold step and do it, because they are going to change your life. They are definitely going to change your life, as Kona did with mine. Sounds awesome. I say do it. I will. I'm going to do it, guys. I'm going to do a Christmas concert, Roger Lee. And on that same day, I am going to give you a free special edition Christmas ebook. But hopefully I can get 3,500 subscribers before Christmas hits, because I am really trying to grow my YouTube channel, because I think these videos are really, really great. And it's a different platform, it's just different. There's IG too. I don't really do lives on IG, but I don't want to spread it out too thin, because majority of my followers are from Facebook. But now you can join me here on YouTube as well, right? So we're gonna have fun Christmas time. But during that time, remember that you must love yourself, okay? And if you're just starting to do so, and you don't know how, I do have videos here on my channel on what I had to do on how to start loving myself, and what you can do for yourself to start training yourself, to start loving yourself in your heart here, within yourself here, and also how you can train your mindset to work with your heart, because they both have to work together in order for you to actually start seeing that light again and becoming that light, as I said in that quote. So spend that time this Christmas holiday, and try, if you can, spend it with family and friends, because I think those moments are very, very, very special and very important, because like I said earlier, sometimes in life, when you're going through a difficult time in your life, and you just can't think of anything positive, you can always go back to those beautiful memories and remind yourself that, hey, you know what, life has been good. It was good before, and it can be good for you again as well, right? So yay, love to hear your voice again. Sai, have you heard me sing yet? I've sung twice, I think. I sung Happy Birthday on one of my lives to someone, and I sung Hallelujah on one of my lives. So I have sung twice. So if you've missed it, they were my past lives. But don't worry, Don't worry, I've got this. I'm gonna definitely sing more. Not just the Christmas stuff, but I am definitely gonna do more. I have a request list of all some of the songs that some of you guys want me to hear. So I do have that list, and I am practicing, and hopefully I can get that done by Christmas. But if not, it will be around the same time. So I think of your mind as a video recorder. You can record all the good things as much as you can. Always a record. Yes, exactly. Right. And that's what I was talking about, how you can always go back into your mind. I mean, like even right now, your mind is recording, right? As we're going through every single second, your eyes are like, the lens, right? Is recording your whole entire life. And you've heard it before, when people have those NDEs, when they passed away, but they came back and got their life back. They basically, their life flashed in front of their eyes, and they were able to see every single thing that happened to them, right? So that was one of the things that I was telling myself during my healing process, is like I was really, really, I really wanted to know what would really happen to you, right? Like if you pass away, like when you go to heaven, like and all that stuff. So I started doing research on NDEs and stuff like that, right? And I was telling myself, you know what, like if that were true, that you were going to go see your whole entire life of what you did, right? And someone, an angel asked you, so are you happy with what you accomplished in your life, right? And I imagine myself, what would I say to my angel, or that spirit that was talking to me? I would like to tell that him or her that I did as much as I possibly could, right? And I tried to be the best person as possible, and I was kind, and I showed that I loved, and I cared for others. That's one I want to be able to tell. So I use that, and I visualize that scenario, and so that I can, take the day, the opportunity every single day to try to do as many good deeds as possible, to try to share as much love as I can. And not only that, but also try to, work on a better version of myself every single day, right? So that I can say at the end when I leave, I can look back at my life and say, yes, I am proud of what I have accomplished. I think I felt that I've done all that I could do on my time here on Earth, right? So something to also trick your mind with, right? Those little like things that you can just tell your mind, or like put into your vision, right? That can help manipulate your mind a little bit to get things, to focus on thinking differently than how you usually think, you know. For Hannah, wow, so sweetie, Kona love. I hope you have a good Christmas, Chris. Is Chris going out? I'll spend the Christmas time alone. Oh, I'll spend the Christmas time alone, but that's fine for me. We'll do fine cooking, a nice bottle of wine. We'll celebrate for myself. Don't worry, Chris. I'm here for you. I am going to message you on Christmas to make sure that you're not going to spend it alone. Hey, maybe I can do a Google chat with you. Hey, Chris, just for that time, so that you do not feel alone. And I don't drink wine, but I do drink coffee. So I will have my coffee. You're going to have your wine, and you are not going to spend Christmas alone. So that you can remember, hey, you know what? I had a really great Christmas, man. So I'm going to go and have my dinner. I think my dinner is ready. So thank you so much, guys, for coming to my live. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something today. And yeah, the becoming the light is something that is a powerful thing. I'm telling you, you are going to feel it once you get through this chapter and you start seeing that glimpse of light. That glimpse of light is going to start to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And when you see that light, and after you've healed yourself and you've overcome that darkness, you are going to become that light. Okay, guys, remember that. So I'm going to see you next live. You know what? I might do a live tomorrow on Facebook. You're probably going to get that notification. I'll probably see you all there tomorrow night around the same time, around 7 p.m. Because some people will probably miss my YouTube live. So I really want to connect with as many people as I can for my live. So I will see you tomorrow, right? I will definitely leave a post on my page to confirm with you guys. I'm not going to do a surprise attack like sometimes I do. You're like, oh my gosh, Roger's live. You didn't tell me. I'll leave a post to let you guys know that I'm going to go live. So thank you guys for showing up. Hey, David. Thank you so much, Roger. I enjoyed your live. Thank you so much for coming, David. For Hannah, Sai, Shell, Joanne, Marianne, Chris, all of you guys. Oh, someone just joined. Oh, 2632 Radiorette. Thank you for your live. You're very, very welcome. For everyone that joined my live, I look forward to see you again on my YouTube live. It was probably going to be episode number, what is this? 5, right? So number 6, or is it 7? Oh my gosh, my mind is so confused. But my next live for Inside the Mind of RLQ is going to be on YouTube again next week. Saturday at 7 o'clock. I'll see you. If not, then I will see you tomorrow on Facebook Live. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. I love you guys so much. And remember, your mind matters, okay? Take care of yourself for this weekend. And don't forget to love yourself, okay? I love you guys. Good night. I'll see you next live. Bye.